Why do so many exotic weapons feel underwhelming? There are 39 current exotic weapons in Destiny, on the PS4 anyway, but only a handful of them actually feel exotic. Putting aside the unique cosmetics and the prestige that comes with them, most of the exotic weapons in the game have a perk that's unique to the weapon, sometimes even sharing the name of the weapon, such as the case with the Last Word in Red Death. Unfortunately, many of the unique perks allocated to exotics are too niche for their own good, meaning that their usefulness or practicality is very limited to the point of why use this over another exotic. I'll be discussing each current exotic weapon and clarify what I mean by actually feel exotic, but first I'll provide an example. In Year 1, you had your stock exotics that never spent much time in the vault. These exotics were Icebreaker and Yellowhorn, and depending on what you liked, maybe Thunderlord and Hawkmoon. Of course, other exotics made a cameo appearance such as Red Death and Vex Mythoclast, but I think we can all agree that Icebreaker and Yellowhorn were always carried by Guardians. Why was this the case? Simple. Both weapons weren't your typical situation exotic, rather your good in every scenario workhorse exotic. There was a use for Icebreaker and Yellowhorn in literally every activity in Year 1, mostly due to their versatility and power in their respective archetype. Icebreaker with its regenerative ammo, high impact and Firefly bullets, and Yellowhorn with its tracking, Wolfpack rounds and free grenades and horseshoes perk. No other exotic really warranted use above these two. I get that it's difficult to match the sort of potential each of these weapons had, but the perks they possessed definitely made them feel exotic. Now we're back to the future. We have 39 exotics, but no Yellowhorn or Icebreaker. Let's start by looking at the exotic primary weapons, both the decent, exotic feeling primary weapons, and the not so great, not so exotic feeling weapons. Xalo Supercell. Absolutely. Putting aside the fact that this is the only elemental primary in Year 2, Xalo boasts lightning rounds that can chain to other enemies, plus double kills return half the mag and gives you bonus super energy. While the moderate impact auto rifles aren't the strongest of its type, Xalo definitely has an exotic feel. Fabian Strategy. No. The Fabian Strategy feels like a hybrid Arminius SD and Red Spectre, that is, a low and moderate impact auto rifle, depending if the frontline perk is active. It doesn't boast anything that a legendary auto rifle couldn't do, and if anything, could do better. Hardlight. Not even close. This weapon never even felt remotely exotic. While it featured the hardlight rounds, which are clearly visible and can ricochet and overpenetrate, it never warranted use over any other legendary auto rifle. The visible hardlight rounds were merely a cosmetic. A cool cosmetic, but completely impractical. Suros Regime. Briefly yes, currently no. Once hailed as a PvE and PvP monster in Year 1, has slowly dropped down the ranks. Numerous nerfs to impact, this weapon is a mere shadow of its former self. While boasting two unique perks, that being the spinning up perk only seen on Suros, and the Suros Legacy perk, which is a glorified glass half full and life support perk. Today you would be better off choosing either a moderate or high impact auto with the life support perk and make do. Similarly, with Fabian Strategy, the exotic auto rifles tried to be multiple archetypes at once, that being moderate and low or high impact at the same time, while not really succeeding at being either. Monte Carlo. Yes, but not enough. Another medium impact auto rifle with a unique perk that cools down your melee charge and can completely recharge it after a kill. Back when Field Scout increased its mag size from 36 to 56, this was an interesting exotic with a variety of uses. Still, even at 36 rounds it has its place, but in terms of practicality and tough content, this weapon falters. That being said, running an Amplify Striker Titan or Double Smoke Grenade Night Stalker in strikes or patrols, this weapon has an exotic feel for sure. The first curse. Not really, but more than it did. At launch, the first curse perk triggered when a precision kill was hit, but that was it. In Crucible, it would typically take 3 shots to kill someone unless they were running the bare minimum amount of armor, meaning that in the best case scenario, you would only get 5 shots with the improved stability and range that the first curse perk offered. Now that the mag tops off as well with a precision kill, it's an improvement but to me, doesn't really feel unique enough or worthy enough to occupy my exotic slot, particularly given the other options. Ace of Spades. No, it's a PG rated Fatebringer. The best legendary primary in the game in Year 1 makes an average return as an exotic in Year 2. Firefly still exists, except Outlaw has been replaced with the Maverick perk that replaces 1 bullet for a precision kill. Only returning 1 bullet per kill limits the capabilities of the weapon, as it's only really worthwhile on 1 or 2 shot enemies such as Thralls or Acolytes. Even then, the Firefly perk blasts most of the enemies out of the way, making the Maverick perk even more redundant. Ace of Spades also comes with Third Eye, but given Outlaw, Firefly and Third Eye can roll in varying combinations on legendary hand cannons, Ace of Spades doesn't feel very exotic. The Last Word. Yes. While it has its limited practicality in PvE due to its impact, the Last Word is the only fully auto hand cannon in the game. Definitely warrants use in PvP and has a distinct exotic feel to the weapon. Hawkmoon. No. Hawkmoon has never been a bad weapon, particularly given that it has a 13 round clip and in Year 1 had the potential to one-shot in the Crucible, but now it is a glorified but limited Ice Luna. Yes, it has 3 more bullets and 2 more chances to proc a Luck in the Chamber bullet, but Ice Luna can have far more variety in its perk loadout, either speccing for more range, more stability or more aim assist. For the most part, Hawkmoon is the superior weapon, but doesn't provide a unique or exotic experience. No time to explain. Yes, kinda. While the name is an indictment on Bungie's lack of in-game storytelling, No Time to Explain's perk of Rewind Again returns precision shots directly to the mag. Definitely a unique and exotic feeling perk, but against adds it's outclassed by Bad Juju, and against bosses it's outclassed by sniper rifles or scout rifles such as the Jade Rabbit. Not to mention, I put it up there with one of the worst sights in the game. It looks like they laid down tracks on a printed circuit board, made it transparent and slapped it on the gun. I'd recommend going with something else for nearly every encounter. Bad Juju. Absolutely, now. Bad Juju was my first exotic way back in Year 1, when it had 15 rounds and didn't grant bonus super energy. Now at 24 rounds, with the bonus super energy plus the String of Curses perk topping off the mag every kill. Bad Juju feels like an exotic weapon and it has a utility in a variety of purposes, both PvE and PvP. Red Death. Barely. Despite being an awesome looking weapon, Red Death grants health regeneration every single kill, plus speeds up the reload. This translates to a better version of life support and feeding frenzy tied into one perk, so the exotic feeling isn't necessarily the best, although the utility of Red Death is excellent. Boolean Gemini. No. It does feature unique perks, either granting increased armor or agility, but the way it performs and handles does nothing to entice its use. A vendor-hung jury with triple tap, hand-laid stock and Firefly dominates this weapon. Boolean Gemini is just another scout rifle. Touch of Malice. The best example of a feels exotic weapon. A fully auto scout with life leech and crazy high damage that weakens you, the very definition of an exotic weapon. Nothing comes close to providing the experience and output of this weapon. Truly unique. To Laylock. Yes and no. I mentioned the exotic auto rifles didn't really benefit from combining multiple archetypes into the same gun, but on the scout rifle to Laylock, that couldn't be more false. The Everflow perk providing a significantly increased rate of fire and stability turned the scout rifle into a DPS machine, shredding through guardians and adds at will. Still, in terms of unique feel, it's just a faster shooting scout rifle. It's not the most unique gun, but incredibly effective nonetheless. The Jade Rabbit. Yes. The Jade Rabbit has a perk similar to other exotics, such as Zalo's Supercell, Bad Juju and the First Curse. It can return ammo to the magazine. Jamming body shots and hitting a precision shot will increase the damage on that shot and return ammo to the mag. Unique amongst legendaries, but not so much against exotics. A decent weapon, but not amazing. Mida Multi-Tool. No. Mida is just a fast-firing scout with third eye, higher agility and a useless hair trigger perk. Its ease of use sees it feature in most Crucible matches, and while it's very competitive and viable in the Crucible, its exotic perk doesn't feel very exotic at all. To summarise my analysis on exotic primary weapons, I've divided them into a table of yes they feel exotic, they kinda feel exotic, and no they don't feel exotic. While the performance and uniqueness of an exotic don't always match, I'd still like to see the utility of some exotics increased, along with the niche characteristics decreased, to promote more workhorse-like weapons such as Icebreaker and Yellowhorn. I intended to analyse all exotics in this video, but I'm not even halfway done, so I'll create a new video discussing the special weapons and then the heavy weapons to finish off. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my conclusions of the exotic primaries, or am I completely wrong? I'm always down to hear your feedback. Thanks for watching, catch you guys in the next vid.